about to say there, the problem is, of course, they behave in this way because politicians allow them to. You see, the trouble, Daniel, is that the productive sector, the agriculturally productive sector, west of the Great Dividing Range, has only got a handful of representatives in the parliament. And then you get the National Party, which should change its name back to the Country Party and see the country people are represented. It's gone completely woke. I mean, the bloke who replaced Barnaby Joyce, David Littleproud, has embraced 100% renewables. And that can't be achieved, as you and I have said on this program, without smashing the agricultural sector, who, along with transport, are responsible for as many carbon dioxide emissions as electricity generation. So the poor farmer has hardly anyone to represent him.
Oh, it's spot on, Alan. And look, the point I would make is every single step in the agricultural production process is going to be affected and significantly impacted by net zero targets and emissions reduction requirements, whether it's getting diesel in your tractor, whether it's the electricity you need for your shearing shed or your packing plant, whether it's transporting goods to markets and supermarkets, whether it's exporting that produce overseas on ships and getting them to the ports. Every single step of the process involves some form of carbon emissions. And we've seen this happening right around the world, including in the United Kingdom, for example, where you've got governments and corporates buying up land and locking it up. So rather than producing produce, it's being used for carbon credits, which provides no value whatsoever for our society. And it's stopping the produce being grown. It's making farmland less productive. But even more important than that, it is depriving farmers and landowners of their own private property. It's their land. It's not the government's. It's their land, and they should be free to use it in the way they want.
Well, I mean, you've just got to look at what's happening in the Netherlands at the moment with farmers there. They're driving their tractors down the streets because of this climate change nonsense. I've just spoken, by the way, on the program to someone you know, Michael Schellenberger, a world-renowned authority on this, and he's written about, quote, his words, the climate scare we have created over the past 30 years, and that, quote, climate change is not even our most serious environmental problem. And he says, once you realise how badly misinformed we've been, it is hard not to feel duped. But as you say, despite pledges from successive governments to relieve farmers of all these regulations, the bureaucrats keep piling it on.
They do keep piling it on. And to me, Alan, look, there's three very simple principles that all governments should follow. The first is that if something's regulated at the council level, it shouldn't be regulated at the state level. If it's regulated at the state level, it shouldn't be regulated at the federal level, because all that does is create duplication with no benefit. The second principle is that farmers know best about how to manage their land. They are the best environmental stewards. This idea that farmers don't have an incentive or don't care about their animals or their land is wrong, because they want great produce. They know how to manage their land, and in most cases, they want to see that land flourish for the next generation. So they're the ones that know how to manage their land, not bureaucrats. And look, the third point is governments have to cut red tape persistently. We saw an enormous success under the Trump administration with one simple rule. What Trump said was, okay, if you want to introduce a new rule, you can do that, but you must get rid of two existing rules which are on the books to begin with. So that is a 1 in, 2 out rule for the bureaucrats, because what that does is it means they have to think about the cost of what they're doing, and that's how you get red tape down over the long term.
Absolutely.